My name is Taylor Hamblin. I'm teaching at Grammar.Vocabulary Lesson today.
And I'm Kelsey. I'm Stephanie. I'm Pearl.
I'm Way.
And you guys have to introduce yourselves. Good work. Good work, class. Alright. Today we're going to talk about grammar and vocabulary. There's a lot of common ground between Spanish and English, a lot. You guys probably have noticed some of this, including the verbs and the conjugations. Some of the conjugations, though, or conjugations in English and Spanish can be different. English can be seen by Spanish speakers as redundant in the way we speak. We use a lot of extra words that we don't need to. Can anyone think of an example of this?
Well, you just said extra words we don't need.
Well, yeah, but I mean like an actual word, like an actual like phrase though. Can anyone think of like a phrase like actual conjugation like? Oh, okay, it's alright. Say like I read. When we say I read, we use two different words, but in Spanish you would say it's leo, because the conjugation of leer, which is the infinitive, turns into I read. So just that's one simple example. We're going to talk about all 100 verbs that are most common in Spanish. Can anyone think of what those verbs may be? Just any of them. Just toss out what you think a verb would be that's most used in Spanish.
Tener.
Tener? What does tener mean?
To have.
That's correct. What else? Anything else? Shout it out there. Like what word in English, think of your English equivalents. Like what words in like society and just like everyday life that you use the most?
Here, like to go.
To go? Yeah, like you're going places. Like it's just, you go all the time. So what else? One more.
Ser.
Sarah, what does Sarah mean?
To be.
What does it mean? Like, what's special about to be for Sarah though?
It's like, I don't know what you mean.
Like what's the difference between Sarah and a star?
I don't know what you
Okay.
mean. I don't
Alright, Sarah's more permanent. Like you
Yeah.
would use like Sarah to describe a characteristic. That's what it means. So yeah, Sarah means to be on a more permanent level. So if you're talking about how my hair is brown, that would be a Sarah. You would say, I woy say, soy moreno. I have brown hair. So that's just a couple examples. I'm going to pass out these conjugation sheets. These have the 100 most used verbs in Spanish with their English translations. And this specific lesson is going to be a vocabulary lesson. We want to focus on the vocabulary. If you guys memorize these 100 words and use them in sentences and conversation, you'll be able to communicate basic Spanish. It's not very complicated. You can communicate the most basic things, like, what'd you do at 10 o'clock? I slept. Dormir. Dormir is to sleep. That's on there. So simple things like that, you know, what'd you do at 5 o'clock? I ate. I eat. What are you going to do later? I'm going to eat. I'm going to run. I'm going to jump. I'm going to practice. I mean, these are all simple verbs that are on there. And you'll actually notice, once you start memorizing these words, you'll actually notice your English equivalents, how much you use these in real actual life. Alright, so we are going to show you, or actually before I show you the conjugations, I'm going to ask you, what do you think the benefits are of knowing the top 100 words in Spanish? Doesn't matter. Say whatever you guys want.
You can describe what's going on in your surroundings or
Right.
what you're doing.
Yep, okay. Why memorize verbs? Why not memorize just random words like book or cup or refrigerator or something random like that? Why memorize verbs?
You can tell what you're doing.
Right. I mean, everyday life, think about what you do. You do actions. You are always doing something. In a sentence, there's a subject, which is you guys, I, and then there is also the verb, the action. What are you doing? And if you memorize the verbs first, the other words that come with it will come easily. You'll just know them from just using them in sentences. They'll come so simply to you guys. So that's why we're doing verbs first. Alright, I'm going to show you the different types of conjugation, the different forms. We're going to use an AR verb, hablar. What's the first conjugation, or what's the first form? You guys tell me.
Yo.
Yo, that's correct. What does yo mean? I? Correct. Alright, what's the next one? Two. What does two mean?
You.
What goes over the U?
An accent.
That's right. Why does an accent go over the U? What is two without an accent? Like, just, and this is random. Like, what's two without an accent? Do you guys know? It's your.
Oh, right.
So if you want to if you wanted to say you and your friends, you could actually say tu y amigos. And that's simple. You just have to put a little bit of an accent on the last U. It's okay. What's next?
L.
L.
Ella usted.
Someone did their homework. And what do these mean?
He, she. And
Or
it means an
maybe-
accent.
Formal U. If you want to dumb it down, it means it. Basically, it's formal U, but it also just means it. I'm gonna do this because it's more comfortable for me. What's the next one?
Nosotros.
Nosotros. What is nosotros?
We.
Correct. Alright, what's the next one that we never speak of? That's right. Unless you're going to Spain, don't worry about nosotros. And the last one.
Ellos. Ellas. Ustedes.
Correct. And what do those mean?
They.
Them. They. Multiple males, multiple females.
What if you had multiple, like if we were talking about our group, we both had men and women here, what would we say?
Ellos.
Because in Spanish you would automatically go to the masculine. So, although that is kind of changing now with popular culture and feminism kicking in, some people are, going against that. So, just a tidbit of information there. Okie doke. And can you guys see maybe why now memorizing the 100 words might be useful, because they're all like this. So they all have these conjugations. It all follows a specific pattern. There are irregulars, just like English. However, they all follow this specific pattern. And I don't want you guys thinking it's just going to be straight memorization. It's not. We're going to have conversation. We're going to watch movies. You guys know what Ferngully is? The Disney movie? Okay, I had that in Spanish. I probably watched it 5 times. We're going to watch stuff like that. We're going to watch Bambi. I got Little Mermaid too, so I'm really excited, guys. If you watch those with Spanish subtitles, you'll get these words. You'll see how they're conjugated. We'll have simple conversations with each other. Really simple. Like I can say, "What'd you do 5 minutes ago?" You can say, "I read." It's like, "Okay, I'm going to go eat." And you can say, "Can I come with?" Very simple. And be able to do it because you know those conjugations. All right. So now that we focused on the forms, we're actually going to go into the conjugation of hablar as an example. There are 2 others, ER and IR, that you guys have to know, but right now we're just going to focus on the AR, okay? So, AR verbs, hablar, which actually, what does hablar mean? I forgot to ask you guys that.
To speak.
To speak, correct. So, if you were going to say I speak, what would you say?
Yo hablo.
No. You got it kind of right, but if you were just going to write this in a sentence or say, I speak, what would you say? Hablo. Do you know why?
Getting rid of the I.
Because it's redundant. You say yo hablo, you're saying I speak. I mean, that's how they would take it as. I mean, it's correct. They would understand. They would probably take you as an English speaker, but if you want to speak it fluently, it's just hablo. So yeah, correct. Hablo. 2. Hablas, correct. You always add an S for 2. So for AR verbs, for the present indicative, which is present tense, so just what you are now in the present, like what you're doing right now. So you have habla for I speak, or hablo, I'm sorry. Hablo. Hablas. And notice how the I, it changed. There's no more A, there's O. It's the only time it happens when it's on irregular. So it's the only time you have to worry about changing this word. So, hablo, hablas. What about ella usted? Habla, correct. So all you're doing is dropping the R. Habla. What about nosotros? Hablamos. So we speak. My marker's dying. It's alive again. Okay. Hablamos. Again, don't worry about nosotros. And the last one, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Hablan, correct. So that would be they speak. Okay, so with these conjugations, I'm emailing you all guys websites, basically these conjugation websites. You can type in any of these words that you guys have on your lists, and I'll give you all the conjugations. It'll give you all the conjugations that are for Spanish. There's the ones that you guys are going to probably memorize by the time you're done with Spanish is 7th or 8th. So you gotta think, you have 100 words there times 8 conjugations, it's 800 ways to mess with a word. It gets really extensive, and if you add the different forms, it gets really extensive. And I remember when I was being taught, that freaked me out. That I thought, like, oh my god, I have to memorize like 4,000 different ways to like mess with a word. But again, if you memorize them all, like my theory, if you memorize all these words, if you keep on using them in conversation, if you keep using them like that, then it'll come simply because they all are the same in a way. All the ARs, all the AR verbs, all the ER verbs, all the IR verbs are the same, except for a few irregulars, which we'll focus on as well in different lessons. So, we're going to keep on pushing on. We're going to show you guys ER verbs, and I want you guys to give me an ER verb. Doesn't matter which, just toss one out there for me. Don't use lead air though, because we already used that one as an example.
Tenaire.
Tenaire. Sounds good. What does tenaire mean?
To have.
Correct. Is there anything special about tenaire though? Like as a verb, like does it do anything weird at times?
Conjugated. Tango and then.
Yep.
For I and then it goes to TNAs.
Yep, actually tenaire, yeah, you're right. Tenaire is an irregular. I wasn't going to show you guys irregulars today, but since we got one brought up, it's an important irregular because it means to have. You can literally use it for a lot of stuff. It also could be, you could also describe yourself, like if you're saying you're cold, you could say tengo frio, I am cold. It's a subject, we'll get into that later, I don't want to confuse you guys, so let's do tenaire now. So we already know the forms, so let's not, write them on the board, let's just kind of figure out tenaire. So how would we say I have? Tango. Yep, tango. You just got a subset, it's an irregular, so it's just one of those to memorize, tango. You have? Tienes. And you spell it how?
T-I-E-N-E-S.
Correct. So you have to drop the E. Again, it's an irregular, so tenaire is a very different verb from the others. So we have tango, tienes. Can someone give me the next one, please? So it's the stiff form. TNA, correct. And you guys notice the pattern with the last verbs? And hablar, it was hablo, so there's the O. Hablas, there's the S. Habla, there's no S. So it follows a pattern. So about nosotros. Tenemos. Is tenemos irregular? Nope. See, tenaire is not a fun verb. It's one, you'll get it, this one you'll memorize it first because you'll see a lot. You'll see this is one of the verbs you'll see the most. In fact, I think it's like number 2 or 3 on the top 100. But as you can already see, it changed here, and here, and it's back to where it should be. So, again, you don't worry about nosotros, so the last one, mistakes. Tienen. And again, just like hablar, it has an N. It has the N at the end. So even though it's very different, it's also very the same. And we're going to keep on going real quick. We'll try to do this last one a little faster so we can get on to our activity. What is an IR verb? Comer. Vivir. What's comer?
I think I'm switching up IR and ER verbs, but you might be right.
It's comer. Comer is to
Right.
eat. Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
Hey, you know what? This is your first Spanish class. That is okay. Alright, the via. What does the via mean?
To live.
And that is on your Spanish list. Again, think of your verbs. Memorize these verbs, get them in your head. Think of the conjugations. Constantly be thinking of verbs though, and their definition. So, to live, let's say I live. What's I live?
Yo vivo.
Yo vivo.
Or vivo.
Just vivo, yep. Yeah. What's the next one? To, like you live. You live for, what's you live for the moment? Anyone who gets that gets a sucker. What was it? What was it?
En este momento. Vives en este momento?
You said, vive en este, you say este?
Yeah.
That's this, so you said you live in this moment, which, you know what, that's good enough. That makes sense. Suckers for everybody. Okay. Okay, so V-base though is the point. V-base, with IR verbs, you have to remember you don't actually use I at the end. It converts back to E. So if you actually think about it, IR and ER are the same thing. It's just the conjugation. It's the infinitive is different, but the conjugations are exactly the same. So really, you memorize two sets. You memorize AR and then EI/IR. So okay, what's the next one? Let's say usted.
Vive.
Vive! I'm sure you guys heard that everywhere. Vive la Mexico. It's along with Mexico because it's singular. It's saying it or her or he. And what about we live? Vivimos, correct. Okay, what's the next one?
Viven.
Viven. Yep, viven, they live. Cool. So you guys, do you understand the conjugations? Is anyone confused? Preguntas? What's preguntas mean? Way? Oh, wait. What does preguntas mean, Way?
No idea. Question.
Correct, Way. Correcto. Good work. Got prizes. And for those who didn't know, Waze went to the Olympics in soccer. After school, you give him a high five. Alright, so, just to practice, I want everyone to put down their sheets, so you're not going to look at them. Everyone is going to conjugate. So, what word have I not used yet? We haven't used you. Kind of almost, because Stephanie almost said it. Okay. Let's go first. Okay. Just, yeah, do your best you can. It's kind of dying on us. Just, yeah, I can see the part.
Okay.
Okay. Cool, thank you. Alright, so, tell me, someone, is this correct?
Yeah, it is correct.
Very good, Way. It is correct. So, yeah, como, comes, come, comimos, comer. Or comen, I'm sorry. See how simple this is? All the conjugations are the same. You have one conjugation to worry about, just 100 verbs. But again, I'm going to say it 1,000 times throughout the semester. We're going to use the same 100 verbs over and over and over again in different ways, including this way. And we're going to do the conjugations one at a time until everyone's comfortable enough to do this. So, good work. We had comer. Almost want to tease Stephanie, but you're on there. Ow.
You can do whatever you want. I'm sure I can hear it out.
It's all you.
Okay.
Good. Wait, is that right?
Yeah, it's right.
You sure?
Absolutely.
You're right, buddy. Good work. Correct. So again, just want to test you guys. I want to help you guys critique each other. All right. Let's do.
Is it irregular?
Oh.
So it's not.
No, just it's no. We're just working on present indicative right now. We'll do irregulars later.
But it's not fuego. Okay.
It's okay. Yep. It's alright. Cool. Thank you. Okay. Is this right?
Yeah.
It actually is right. I actually made a mistake. I did the irregular on accident. So here you put the U and you switch out the U with U and E. So there you go. Good work, bro. All right, Mr. Wazing.
Alright.
It's all right. Yeah, we're gonna get you something, but.
Nice.
Nice. It's easy.
Alright.
Oh, well, yeah, I got it. It's all right, yeah. Good conjugation. Yep, good work.
Alright.
Is this correct?
No, but it's close.
It's close, that's right. So, Wei only messed up on the U part. How would you say U and a star?
Stars.
Estas, that is correct. Good work, Wei. You're very close though. So just remember in the U form, you just put an S at the end. So if it's dormir, it's dormes. So anything A-R-E-R-I doesn't matter. Okay. Again, does anyone have any questions on these verbs and these conjugations? Nope. Preguntas? ¿Sí o no? No. That's right, no means no in Spanish is no here too. Right. It's amazing. Okay, guys. Alright, so for our close down, we're going to do a little small activity before I assign you guys homework real quick. I'm going, so basically, actually I did this with Kelsey last class. We had a sentence where she had to read out the verb in the sentence and she didn't know what the verb was. That's going to come across a lot. You're not going to know what the verb is. But you can use the sentence as clues to tell you. So if you were saying something like, I swim in the river. So if you saw in the river and you had the verb in front of it, you could kind of figure out, oh, it's probably swimming. Especially if you kind of recognize it if you're a little bit fuzzy. So I really want you guys to like look at these sentences and try to figure it out. Right now, you don't have to really worry about getting it really fast. It's not really, we want to build that up, but right now we want you guys to kind of more see these words in action. So I'm going to write a couple of sentences real quick. And you guys, I'm going to write the verb in Spanish, what it's conjugated for. Like it's going to be conjugated, but I'm going to write the rest of the sentence in English. And with that, you're going to figure out what the verb is. So this is a little small activity. If my marker starts working again, there we go. So, Leo. Oh, I forgot. My bad, guys. I said I was going to do that in some English. I apologize. So, our nice simple sentence. Leo, the book. So, the book. What do you do with the book? Read. So, what's Leo? I read. So, what's the infinitive of Leo? Lier, correct. So lier. So just remember, I read. There's that O that we had. So I read. Let's do the next one. Wait, we'll like this one. Because you will weigh it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll like this more. So, football. What do you generally do? Like, football's a sport. So what do you do? What do you do when you're doing a sport?
Play.
Play. Right. I'm going to go play a sport. So, juegamos. Anybody? What's juegamos?
We play.
Right. We play amos. Amos means we. So we play soccer. So Mondays we play soccer. Prizes! Good work, guys. You guys are doing really good. Almost gave Stephanie a heart attack.
This is Christmas.
Okay, what else do we got? How about... Sorry guys, my marker's hard to give. Believe it or not, that's dorme in the middle. The R and the M kind of like they're joining, so. Okay, that's dorme, don't worry about it. Alright, so dorme in the bed. What do you do in the bed?
You sleep.
You sleep in the bed, that's correct. So you sleep in the bed. Dorme, what's the English translation for dorme? Huh? No, it's not I sleep. That's dormo.
He or she sleeps.
He, she, or it sleeps, yeah. So if you're saying like, where does your brother sleep? He sleeps in bed. Something like that. Someone give me a verb actually now. Anybody? Anything.
Hey there.
Hey there. Good work. Yes, sir. No idea what Gatorade is like in water or in Spanish, so never mind. There we go.
Since it's water, I think it means that we drink, or they drink.
They drink water, yeah. I mean, you would say they, you would say beben el agua, or la agua, or el agua. Alright, one more verb until I get with more, guys. We're almost done.
Correr.
What was it?
Correr.
Correr.
Is that to run? No. What?
Correr.
To run?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, correr is to run.
I thought so.
That's it. No, that's it. You're right. You were absolutely right. So, that would be used it. We used I, we used we used it, we used they. Oh. Okay, last sentence, guys. Corres. On the track. So on the track, what do you do on the track? You run.
You run.
Right, you run. You run on the track. So corres on the track. There we go. Okay, so for homework, we kind of bumped into it today, didn't mean to, but we kind of did it with like tener and like wegar and some of those verbs. Some of them are a little bit different. They're called irregulars. On your sheets, you have the 100 most used verbs. Some of them are irregulars. I have emailed you all 2 websites that will help you find out the irregulars. Your homework is to go through the list and put a check mark next to all the verbs that are irregulars. And we'll talk about that next class. But before that, does anyone have any questions about today's topic, like anything? No? Great, cool. This is the class. This is me, and Goose is our cameraman.